Your life may be on the verge of a radical transformation. In the midst of challenges that seem endless, many of us seek a solid foundation that brings peace, purpose, and an abundance of blessings. Imagine if, all of a sudden, you discovered that the key to true change lies in putting God first. With faith as our guide, sacrifice and obedience become powerful tools that connect us to divine love and foster the most authentic relationship with the Creator. Inspiring passages such as John 3:16 and Matthew 6:33 remind us that when we prioritize the kingdom of God, every obstacle transforms into an opportunity for renewal. If you feel that life has so much more to offer and you long for a change that goes beyond the superficial, now is the moment to open your heart to true transformation. Just as Paul found his purpose by reordering his priorities, you too can experience a journey filled with faith, purpose, and peace. Stories of overcoming adversity, inspired by examples like Cathy Hughes, George Washington Carver, and even the missteps of King Saul, show that the path to stability and personal growth is paved with trust in God. Get ready to discover a new horizon, where every prayer and every decision guided by the Bible opens the door to a life that, without a doubt, will never be the same again. Every new dawn brings with it the promise of fresh starts and the assurance that God is present in every detail of our lives. When we open our eyes to the day, we are invited to align our steps with the divine purpose that guides us. It's amazing how every challenge transforms into an opportunity to demonstrate our faith and trust in God. With each breath, the Christian life unfolds as an invitation to transformation and an unceasing pursuit of God's kingdom. This daily scene reminds us that, even in adversity, God's love strengthens and inspires us. Amid the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we can find moments of peace and reflection that renew our spiritual priorities. Devoting a few moments to prayer and Bible study connects us with Paul's example and the inspiring stories of overcoming that motivate us. Thus, each day presents itself as a chance to sacrifice what pulls us away from the true meaning of putting God first. Practicing obedience and sacrifice propels us toward continuous transformation, guided by faith and divine purpose. I encourage you to embrace these daily opportunities, knowing that God's love and blessings illuminate your path with hope and inspiration. When we put God at the center of our lives, we discover that the true meaning of prioritizing Him goes far beyond merely attending church. It is a journey of faith and transformation that aligns every decision and dream with the divine purpose that guides us. Our acts of obedience and sacrifice become expressions of the deep relationship we cultivate with God's love. This practice teaches us to trust in God, acknowledging that His blessings and peace are essential to the Christian life. Every step reveals the priority we give to a lifestyle rooted in the kingdom of God. The daily experience of putting God first invites us to constant prayer and to an intimate connection with the Bible, which lights our way. Every choice, big or small, is shaped by trust in God and by the desire to honor the example of Paul, along with the inspiring stories of overcoming from figures like Cathy Hughes and George Washington Carver. In moments of uncertainty, the practice of prayer and the study of scriptures reinforce our relationship with God, guiding us with wisdom and peace. Just as Matthew 6:33 teaches us to seek the kingdom above all else, every act of obedience reflects our faith and commitment to the divine. In this way, living with priority is a continuous movement of transformation, where God's love is evident in every detail. John 3:16 echoes in our hearts, reminding us that God placed you first with His ultimate sacrifice. Unlike the sorrowful example of King Saul, who drifted away by prioritizing his own desires, this act of God's love renews our faith and purpose. The Christian life is enriched when we recognize that every sacrifice and act of obedience leads to inner transformation. Immersing ourselves in prayer and Bible study, we feel the presence of blessings and the peace that only a relationship with God can provide. Inspired by Paul's example and uplifting stories of overcoming, we are driven to live with confidence and to celebrate the unconditional love of God. In our daily lives, Remembering John 3:16 encourages us to prioritize God's love, making it the foundation of all our decisions. As Matthew 6:33 reminds us, seeking the kingdom of God transforms us and guides us toward a life filled with purpose and faith. Every act of obedience and every moment of prayer become living testimonies of how divine sacrifice can change lives. Reflecting on these teachings, our journey becomes one of continual transformation, brimming with blessings and inner peace. Thus, God's love propels us to live fully, celebrating each victory and strengthening our relationship with Him. Seek first the kingdom, for when you prioritize God, your life transforms into a true journey of faith and purpose. In Matthew 6:33, we find a reminder that daily obedience and sacrifice build the foundation for a full Christian life. By dedicating moments to prayer and Bible study, we cultivate a deep relationship with God's love and His blessings. Every decision becomes an expression of trust and transformation, driven by the desire to live in harmony with the kingdom of God. Just as Paul's example inspires us, each day presents a new opportunity to align our dreams with the divine will. By putting God first, we experience a peace that transcends difficulties and reveals a greater purpose. Stories of overcoming adversity, like those of Kathy Hughes and George Washington Carver, demonstrate that faith fuels great achievements. Even in the face of challenges reminiscent of King Saul's tragic choices, sacrifice and obedience lead us to transformation. Every prayer and Bible study session strengthens our relationship with God, deepening our trust and certainty in His love. The promise of Jeremiah 29:11 echoes in our hearts, assuring us that by seeking the kingdom first, we are guided toward a life full of peace and blessings. Paul's journey from Saul to Paul is a landmark transformation that shows how God works in the Christian life even amid challenges. By abandoning his old ways, he embraced obedience and sacrifice, demonstrating an unwavering faith and trust in God that transformed him. Paul's example teaches us that prioritizing our relationship with God brings blessings and fills us with purpose, renewing our lives with peace and hope. In moments of prayer and Bible study, he found the guidance needed to reorient his existence, reaffirming the power of faith. His story inspires all of us to live with dedication, placing God at the center and recognizing that true priority lies in His love. Paul's account pushes us to overcome obstacles with determination, reminding us that every sacrifice has its value in the pursuit of God's kingdom. Just as Kathy Hughes and George Washington Carver paved paths of overcoming adversity, Paul's transformation from Saul is a powerful lesson in faith and obedience. By putting God first, he demonstrated that every decision rooted in prayer and Bible study can lead to a radical change in our journey. This experience reflects the teaching of Matthew 6:33, where prioritizing God translates into a life filled with love, blessings, and peace. May the lessons of Paul, reinforced by passages like Jeremiah 29:11 and John 3:16, inspire us to embrace ongoing transformation, always guided by God's love. Having God as your foundation is the key to achieving stability in all areas of life. His presence instills faith and purpose in our journey. When we cultivate an unshakable faith, we discover that obedience and sacrifice transform into blessings that elevate our Christian life. Every moment of prayer and Bible study reinforces our relationship with God, showing that His divine love is the cornerstone of a prosperous future. Paul's example teaches us that trusting in God brings not only peace, but also the clarity needed to set priorities that lead to true transformation. By seeking the kingdom of God, we realize that a solid foundation in His Word equips us to build a lasting career and enduring relationships. A strong foundation in God is the bedrock that supports our dreams and goals, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. Inspired by stories of overcoming, like those of Kathy Hughes and George Washington Carver, we learn that faith and sacrifice yield astonishing results. Even when difficult times remind us of King Saul's mistakes, trust in God propels us to move forward with courage and determination. Passages such as Jeremiah 29:11 and Matthew 6:33, along with the message of John 3:16, reinforce that prioritizing God is the strategy for a life overflowing with blessings. With purpose and God's love, every step in our career, relationships, and personal growth becomes a living testimony to the transformation that only true faith can bring. In a world filled with challenges, stories of faith and success inspire us to move forward with trust in God. Cathy Hughes exemplifies, with her determination, how faith and prioritizing the kingdom of God can transform lives. The journey of George Washington Carver illustrates how sacrifice and obedience, grounded in God's love, can lead to great achievements. Their stories serve as beacons, guiding us toward a Christian life enriched with blessings, where inner transformation becomes evident. The combination of purpose, faith, and resilience shows that even in the toughest moments, God is present to guide every step with peace and wisdom. Reflecting on these inspiring lives, we realize that true success is rooted in our relationship with God. The examples of Cathy Hughes and George Washington Carver encourage us to put God first, living with priority and transformation. Every obstacle overcome becomes a testimony to the importance of maintaining trust in God and practicing daily prayer, grounded in the Bible. Thus, we learn that sacrifice and obedience are not merely challenges, but pathways to experiencing God's love and the blessings of His kingdom. May these stories of overcoming serve as a reminder that, with faith and determination, our lives can transform in extraordinary ways. When we neglect our relationship with God and prioritize personal desires, life loses its true purpose. The fall of King Saul stands as a striking warning for those who drift away from faith and obedience. Every misguided decision can become a sacrifice that hinders transformation and blocks the blessings of God's kingdom. When trust in God is replaced by selfish choices, divine love and peace recede, leaving a void in the Christian life. This lesson highlights the importance of keeping God as our priority, continually seeking guidance in prayer and Bible study. Neglecting God's will creates a cycle of discouragement that erodes our faith and the purpose of living under His love. As Matthew 6:33 teaches, putting personal desires ahead of divine will paves the way for instability and suffering. Disobedience and the lack of personal sacrifice prevent us from experiencing the transformation and the uplifting stories of overcoming that inspire our journey. Examples like King Saul show that without obedience and trust in God, blessings dissipate and life loses direction. Therefore, reclaiming faith and putting God first is essential to restore peace, purpose, and a genuine relationship with the divine. Start each morning with sincere prayer, entrusting your challenges to God and making room for His love and direction. Allow Bible study, especially passages like Jeremiah 29:11 and Matthew 6:33, to illuminate every decision you make. Transform your daily activities into acts of worship, recognizing that your work is an offering of faith and sacrifice. By practicing generosity, you strengthen your relationship with God and inspire others to live with purpose. This practical routine fosters continuous transformation, bringing peace and blessings to your Christian life. Connect actively with your faith community by participating in meetings and activities that reinforce trust in God. Draw inspiration from stories of overcoming, such as those of Cathy Hughes and George Washington Carver, which demonstrate the power of sacrifice and obedience. Seek divine guidance in every step, using Paul's example as a guide for a life full of love and priority. Make every day a celebration of your relationship with God, where each act of work becomes a manifestation of worship. In this way, daily prayer, generosity, and connection with faith become the cornerstone of a journey toward transformation and peace. Embracing a lifestyle founded on faith transforms every moment into an experience brimming with purpose and hope, as Jeremiah 29:11 assures us. The message of this passage echoes God's love, revealing blessings and a peace that propels us even in challenging times. Living with confidence and obedience turns every act of prayer and Bible study into a step toward true transformation. When we prioritize our relationship with God, we discover that the Christian life is enriched with sacrifice, faith, and a profound sense of purpose. Each day becomes an opportunity to experience the abundance of God's kingdom and the blessings that only genuine faith can provide. When we adopt a lifestyle that reflects sacrifice and obedience, we don't merely live in fleeting moments, but experience continual growth within the kingdom of God. The transformation that occurs by putting God first is akin to the inspiring stories of overcoming by Kathy Hughes and George Washington Carver. Every decision grounded in prayer is taught by Paul and reinforced by Matthew 6:33 and John 3:16 confirms that faith and trust in God are essential for a fulfilling life. Even in the face of challenges, without repeating the mistakes of King Saul, we are driven to live with purpose and celebrate God's love in every gesture. This journey of transformation, based on eternal values and the constant pursuit of God's kingdom, is a daily reminder that our lives will never be the same again. Reflecting on every teaching and story shared, one question arises: what will you do with the blessings and purpose God has placed in your path? Are you willing to turn every challenge into an opportunity to demonstrate your faith and trust in divine love? Consider how prayer, Bible study, and the practice of obedience can serve as the pillars of a life filled with peace and transformation. Every decision you make, founded on sacrifice and faith, has the power to ignite a spark that inspires not only yourself, but also those around you. This is the moment to act, to reflect, and to embark on a journey of faith that truly changes your life. Now, I invite you to take the next step: subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to follow more content that can guide your journey toward true purpose. Are you ready to transform challenges into victories and live under God's unconditional love? May every decision become an act of faith, inspiring others to walk the same path of transformation and obedience. After all, our journey of faith only grows stronger when we share our testimony and unite in a genuine commitment to God's kingdom.